Welcome to Mrs. Mauer's Chemistry 11 class. For your lab, you have been asked to make a chart in Microsoft Excel. To do this, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to type in your data, as I've done here. I've got my time, and I've done my 2 temperature trials, and I've put all of my data into this chart. Once I've done my chart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, I'm going to right-click on where it says Sheet 1 and say Rename. I'm then going to label this sheet as my raw data. That way, if I have to make any changes later on, I know not to touch my raw data because I want to leave all that information as it is. I'm then going to come over here where it says time, and I'm going to select all of the cells that I want to include in my new chart. Once I've done that, I will then go up to Insert, and let's say we want to do a line chart. I'm going to select Line Chart. And then I'm going to come down here where it says line with markers so that I can display my trends over time. I will select that and I'll automatically have a chart populate. Now, the thing I need to look at is this chart representing what I want it to represent? And the answer to that is no right now. First of all, I want my y-axis to be my temperature values and my x-axis to be my time values. And that's not what I have here. So in order to fix that, what I need to do is I need to right-click, go down here where it says Select Data, and I want my horizontal axis label to become my time, so I'll click Edit, come over, highlight all of my time data that I want to be represented in my graph, and hit OK. And then I need to remove that time data from the y-axis information. So I'm going to click on Time and Remove. Then I'm going to go and hit OK. And what you'll see is your graph will automatically update with the changes that you've made. Now, the one thing that's really important that we need to include on our charts, that our chart right now is lacking, is our title information and our axis labels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here where it says Design, and you have all these different options. Now I'm going to go and pick an option that has both an X, a Y, and a title label. So I'll click on this one, and then I'm going to come and I'm going to click over where it says Chart Title, highlight it, and type in the title of my lab and any other important information that needs to be put into the title. You want a person looking at your chart title to be able to get enough information so that they can understand the data that they are looking at. So in this case, I'm just going to write in temperature versus time. And again, I would at least include the lab that you're dealing with. I'm going to come down, modify my x-axis, and this is time. And it's extremely important that you include your labels so that people know what kind of units that we're dealing with. So my time for this lab was measured in seconds. And I'm going to do the same thing for the y-axis. This is my temperature data, and my temperature was measured in degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the only other thing that we may want to do is if this graph is too small and we'd like to make it a little bit bigger or move it to its own separate worksheet, I can either click on or do a right click and go down to Move Chart, or I can select the Move Chart option up here in the upper right corner, and it will give me the option of moving my chart to its own sheet. If I do move it to my own sheet, I should probably label it with a name that will give me a hint as to what's going on in that chart. So I'm just going to call this the temperature versus time. I'm going to hit OK, and you'll see that your graph has been enlarged. If you have any questions on this process, please be sure to ask me. Thank you.